Public sector unions that have agreed to sign the government wage offer of 1.5% are about to brief the media in Pretoria. The majority of unions make it possible for government to implement the offer. Let's cross over to that briefing.
All levels, from level 1 to 12, will receive at least R1,000 after tax. And of course the 1.5%, which is essentially our pay progression, but paid to everybody. When we see how far we've come to reach that point, we've got to acknowledge that our negotiators have done us proud and have done well. So we will now see this implemented as of the end of April. The 1st of April is implementation date, and our members have given us a mandate, all our unions, to accept this particular outcome. Of course, what we've got to acknowledge and what we've got to make a point on is that this is not the ideal agreement. It's an agreement which we have accepted in terms of the reality of where we are. But we would have wanted a much larger pensionable increase, because the only pensionable increase is the 1.5%. We also know that we are still in court, of course, on the 2018 deal, which will see us on the 24th of August deal in the Concourt with that matter. On that note, I will stop talking and maybe we will have a series of questions. Any questions? Let me add that the majority that has now been reached in the PSCBC, which includes all the fiducia unions, as I've mentioned them by name, and I'll do so again just for the public record. We have Hospersa, NAPTOSA, the PSA, SABC, the SAOU, as well as NATU. And of course, we know that SATU has also signed the agreement, and so too has DENOSA. And that has given us the majority within the PSCBC, which then allows this resolution to be implemented. Thank you. Yeah. Please ask it.
Me?
Oh.
Go ahead. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, Carol. Please go ahead.
Hello, it's Carol. Hi. I'm sorry, you wasn't sure if you'd recognize me. Yes, on the 1,000 rand gratuity. What's the plan come sort of the next year's wage round? I mean, is you hoping to get that incorporated into the baseline come next year? And then secondly, in terms of the lowest paid, I mean, getting quite a large increase, a much larger amount of cash in hand than they would have got the normal increase. What's the incentive on those workers then to settle in the next round, because they're going to benefit much more from not settling if they keep on getting the cash gratuity. So what sort of guarantees are there that workers will then settle next time round?
Carol, I'm going to try and respond, but some of it is best directed at the employer, because it is the other side of the table that also needs to respond to some of these. But insofar as what happens by the end of this term, there's a grandfather clause built in that says if we don't have an agreement in place yet for the next year, that this gratuity will continue. But of course it's behoven on the members of the PSCBC, the unions, to ensure that negotiations begin and we start looking towards the following year. As I've already expressed, it is our express belief that real increases are pensionable increases, and that is what we would want to push for come the future. You're absolutely right. When the shoe is pinching, the gratuity is very attractive, but that doesn't grow wealth, and neither does it grow anything towards your pension, and that is what discourages us.
So would you be seeking then to have that incorporated into the baseline in the next round?
Carol, if you were seeing into the future and if that could happen, we would all be happy. But of course, the other side talks back when we get to negotiations. What I can say is that we will certainly want to go and negotiate further on this matter, because people will get used to it, and you're so right, it'll become very difficult to give it up later. We have Ruben, who is also a member of PSA, who is also a member of FEDUSA, who wants to add, and a negotiator.
Yes, thank you very much. Carol, in fact, if you look at this current arrangement of this resolution, we can also call it as an interim resolution. If you look at clause 3.3 of that particular resolution, it says that this resolution will be some sort of arrangement until such time that we find a permanent solution to our demands. We must not forget that our demands as unions still stands in the PSABC. We have not dealt with housing, we have not dealt with medical aid. Therefore, all those demands and this particular arrangement of gratuity is a way of saying that because we are not able to reach a settlement, let's have this particular arrangement so that the workers are put in a position of affordability. Because as we speak right now, majority of members is 2 years, they have not received any increase, and they are in a position where they are no longer even, some not affording, even transport to go to work. So we are trying to put some sort of an arrangement in this manner of this resolution until such time that we deal with the actual demands that are on the table, which, if are resolved, would mean that whatever that will be taken as a resolution would be taken into consideration what is already being offered as an interim. Thank you.
All right, so we come out of that Q&A at the Public Sector Unions briefing, just confirming that they have accepted that 1.5% wage offer from the government. We'll have some market news for you after a short break. Do stay tuned.